Zuma, of course, has lost another appeal bid, and the former president's application for leave to appeal a high court ruling that rejected his bid to privately prosecute Cyril Ramaphosa has been dismissed with costs yesterday. Zuma lost another appeal bid in the case against prosecutor Billy Dodnwer and journalist Karyn Maughan. Let's bring in constitutional law expert now, Paul Hoffman. Thank you so much, Mr. Hoffman, for joining me this morning. Of course, this is a second blow for the former president. Can you explain maybe the significance of the High Court's unanimous dismissal of Mr. Zuma's attempted challenge, and these two dismissals now, or he's the second blow for him?
Yes, I see that every time he asks for leave to appeal, he is being knocked back by full benches that are not interested in his prospects of success on appeal. In fact, they cannot see any prospects of success, and as a consequence of that, they have decided not to give him leave to appeal. But we must remember that Mr. Zuma is an indefatigable litigant, and that his strategy is not necessarily to win the cases that he brings, but to string out the process as far and as long as possible. So in both of these matters where he has had setbacks in the last few days, he is entitled to approach the Supreme Court of Appeal. And if the Supreme Court of Appeal also gives him cold comfort, he could seek to get the matter ventilated, or both matters ventilated, in the Constitutional Court. I do not believe he'll have any success in either of those two venues, and that essentially means that Mr. Dodnwer can get on with his prosecution of Zuma, and the president need no longer worry that he has been charged in a private prosecution for a crime that doesn't exist and that the courts have been unable to identify. So more uphill for Team Zuma is the short answer to your question.
And maybe let's touch on what you mentioned there lastly. I think maybe let's delve into the potential legal implications of these court rulings now for Mr. Zuma and his legal team. Like you just mentioned, it will be an uphill battle. Maybe, but also not just for Zuma, but what does this now mean for President Ramaphosa as well, the broader political spectrum?
Yes, well, on the Zuma side, we just have to acknowledge that he has a Stalingrad strategy that is designed to frustrate the course of justice wherever he finds himself in a situation in which accountability is being exacted from him. So he didn't go to the Zondo Commission. He did suggest that the president had committed a crime by not charging Billy Dodnwer. He suggested that Billy Dodnwer and Karyn Maughan have been involved in criminal activity around the disclosure of a medical report that tells you absolutely nothing about his medical condition. All of these things are simply designed to put off the day on which the criminal case that has been pending since 2005 actually starts with its evidence. On the other side of the street, where President Ramaphosa has been facing a potential private prosecution, I would think that he lost no sleep at all about that. It was a stunt designed to prevent him from being eligible to stand at the ANC's December conference at which they elected their leadership. The stunt didn't work, and the persistent efforts of Mr. Zuma to continue with that stunt really have to do with liability for costs rather than any genuine desire to prosecute privately the president on a charge that has never been identified in our criminal law at any time. So things are looking up for President Ramaphosa, and they are looking down for Mr. Zuma at this stage.
And I think, Mr. Hoffman, maybe let's also, look at what can we expect now, in the near future when it comes to Mr. Zuma's trial and the legal defense strategies. What do you see happening here?
Well, they will seek to put off the commencement of the trial until they have exhausted every possible remedy in relation to appealing about Billy Dodnwer's entitlement to be the prosecutor. And that means that the matter ought to be accorded precedence on the role for hearing in the Supreme Court of Appeal, if the Supreme Court of Appeal is minded to hear the matter at all. That is a matter of case management in which the registrars of the various courts at various levels cooperate with each other with a view to avoiding time delays between the various hearings. The progression of the case about Dodnwer will be to ask to petition for leave to appeal to the Supreme Court of Appeal, and if Mr. Zuma gets no change there, to ask that in the interest of justice, the Constitutional Court entertain the matter. I would anticipate that he will lose in both courts, but that job has to be done before the trial will begin. So those are the delays that he is working around at the moment.
All right. Thank you so much for giving us, just an update and insights there into this matter. It's Paul Hoffman, a law expert, Mr. Paul Hoffman, bringing us those updates. Of course, former President Jacob Zuma dealt another blow, a second one. Of course, his attempted challenge to the invalidation of his private prosecution of his successor, President Cyril Ramaphosa, has also now been unanimously dismissed with a full bench and, of course, with costs as well.